Hi, everybody. It's Dee Slater. Welcome to my Wednesday night live at 5s. It's streaming both on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome. If you'd like, as you come in, if you want to say hi and where you're from and just let me know you're there, give me a little wave, and that would be great. Appreciate it. Um, a little housekeeping as we get started that um, today it's a one day only free shipping day from Stampin' Up. So on any order, $75 an order before tax. So if you have any last minute things or actually the prices are going up on May 2nd from Stampin' Up when the new catalog launches. So if there's anything that you need stock wise, like cardstock, ink, tools. Now's a great day to take advantage of that and see the link in this description here if you're interested. Okay, so today we are going to do part 2 or volume 2 of our double gatefold cards. So last time I showed you 3 ways to think about doing a double gatefold, and today's class we are going to continue on with that thought process. So for those of you that like to take advantage of my you get the class materials with your minimum order. I wanted to let you know that this time go around that the paper that you would get with your free class kit is going to change. I will do a floral and I do a very monotone masculine card or masculine colors, but that would be what you would be able to get. And so here's the information here. It's on the link too. And so if you're interested in that, you can head over to my online store with that host code and you'd be all set. All right. Let's see if anything else is going on. I don't see anything right now. So let's go ahead and we'll get started on volume 2 of our double gatefold fun folds. All right, we'll change the camera around. All right. All right, so these are the 2 layouts that we are going to be making today. A little different than last week, but pretty much the same principles. But again, just kind of giving you some other variations of a double gatefold. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to start with this card here. On today's double gatefolds, we're going to actually put belly bands on it. So before our previous one, we didn't put belly bands. So this is a way of showing how you can incorporate a belly band into your gatefold. So we're going to take this off and then open it up. So on this one, the gatefold is anchored onto a card base. All right, let's do this one. All right, so we are going to need a piece of designer series paper. This one is Hues of Happiness. Let me just kind of move this off to the side here for now. Hues of Happiness, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 12. We're going to need another piece of designer paper for the belly band. This is 12 by 1 1/2. Flirty Flamingo cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Some basic white that's cut at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then ahead of time, I've done some stamping and embellishments, but we'll take a look at this here in a little bit. Layering circle dies for a Flirty Flamingo scallop with a layering piece of basic white. All right, let's go ahead and put some of the stuff back in here. And we will start with the designer series paper. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the scoring tool. You can do this on your trimmer as well. I'm going to go ahead and use my Simply Score just to kind of speed things up a little bit. I'm going to score at 2, 4, 8, and 10. Those are the same measurements that we did last time. But if you're new to watching this, it's 2, 4, 8, and 10. All right. Now I am going to get my trimmer. And we are going to, what I've done ahead of time is with my ruler, I marked 3/4 of the way down both sides of the paper. So I took a ruler and went 2 3/4 and made a mark. Went down 2 3/4 and made a little tick mark. I don't know if you can see it, but right there it is. And what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and do some trimming with that, but I want to kind of let you see where the score lines are at. So we're going to take the score line that's closest to the center panel, fold that in, and then fold it back. And then repeat on the other side. Here's the center panel, fold it in, and then fold it back. Okay. So now with our trimmer, what we're going to do is, and this is a little bit of a variation from what we did before, we are going to take the score line that's closest to the center panel, and we're going to make a diagonal cut down to our tick mark that we made with a pencil or pen. So I'm going to line up that score line with our mark at 2 3/4. Line it up on the trimmer's cutting area and trim. So we're going to take a big diagonal line from the fold all the way down, and we're going to repeat on the other side. So we're going to find our score mark, and sometimes on this pattern paper it's a little hard to see on camera. I'm going to try to just get it so that you can see what I'm doing. It's there, and then I'm going to go down to my mark at 2 3/4, close it, and trim. If you wanted to, you could also just take a straight edge and mark that, and then use your scissors to cut. All right, let's go ahead and get the trimmer out of the camera shot. And so now we have something that looks like this. So now we've got a nice zigzag pattern. Okay, that's the basics of this. So now let's go ahead and we'll put this card together. All right, again, I'm using Flirty Flamingo, and this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And on the back side of our gatefold, I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue. Light touch, don't need to be gloppy. And then we'll center that. And so, cute, stands up real prettily. And then we can take our belly band, and I tend to just trim my belly band last minute as I go around my project. I think if you wanted to, you could probably take 1 inch off the length and just start with a 1 1/2 by 11. But I always like to kind of I just kind of save that to the end. I kind of put one side and meet it up in the middle and lightly press it. And then bring the other side over, overlap it just a little bit. Kind of depends on your embellishment. And then I just take my snips and cut that. This is all going to be covered up, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, thank you. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll glue down the belly band. You just want to put adhesive, the liquid glue, just on one of the ends. And then we'll pull this and put this together. And if it does happen to, the glue happens to seep out, maybe you had a little heavy hand, just make sure that, you know, it's not gluing onto your card front. All right, so those belly bands really keep it in place. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our, this is our layering circle scallop, or from the layering circle dies, the scallop, and our circle here. All right, so I'm going to be using this, the sentiment and the dies from the Happiness Abounds bundle. This bundle is retiring by May 1st. So when this current catalog ends, this stamp set and die is going to retire. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to stamp this sentiment on it, that you are wonderful in every way. And I'm going to stamp it towards the bottom, like the bottom half. Alrighty. And then ahead of time, what I had done is I stamped the floral image and a leaf image and then die cut it with the coordinating dies. And with my Flirty Flamingo and my Granny Apple Green blends, I colored that. We're going to also repeat that onto the inside. So let me just kind of show you how we'll do that real quickly. I'm just going to put the flower image on it. So this is going to be on the inside where we can write our little note. So I'll stamp that with Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And then I'm going to take my, well, I like to do the lighter one first. And I know it's like apples and oranges. It's like, or, you know, it doesn't matter which way you do it, however you are most comfortable coloring. I just kind of go in little swirls. I'm going to get the whole thing colored with my light Flirty Flamingo blend. And with blends, just as a reminder, the more you go over it, the richer the colors. Then I kind of come over and outline, whoops, with my dark Flirty Flamingo. And then you can kind of hit some of the other areas here just to kind of give it some dimension. And then I'm going to come back in with my light again. And this is where the blending part comes in. And now when I kind of bring those colors and pull them together, that's where you get the rich deepness of coloring with those. All right, so that's how I colored that. And then let me bring in my sample again. I thought what I would do is show you how you can take these white gel pens. I happen to have a Uniball pen, and I do have links on here if you're interested in shopping on Amazon. But I used the white gel pen to make these 3 cute little dots, or these dots around. It just kind of gives it some highlights. Kind of another little technique that you can do. And I've done this ahead of time on the green leaves. And so I'm going to take my gel pen and I'm just going to, you know, add some little highlights to it. You could take your remover for the blends and do that, but I think it's just kind of fun to have these little dots. You can do lines, you can do trios. I did trios on that one. And here, like if you wanted to kind of just do a line of them on each of the petals, you could. So these gel pens are just kind of fun to have in your stash. And it just kind of gives a real super little highlight to it. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to put this together. All right, so I'm going to add some liquid glue to the layering scallop. And I'm going to take some dimensionals for my belly band. And since this is a big embellishment, it's going to cover the belly band and go over it. I'm just going to go, here's the center. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we'll take off the backing. And we'll put down our belly band. And I'm going to put, oops, where's my little leaf? There we go. Take a mini dimensional and put it on the front of the leaf. I'm really going to build up our flower. And then kind of put it like so. Put 2 regular dimensionals on here. If you don't have the mini, that's fine. Just cut down your regular dimensional in half. put that. Look how pretty that is. Thanks. I think it really adds a lot too. It's just kind of a fun little thing. I had seen somebody was asking about it, or they were using it somewhere else. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't got my white gel pens out forever. Okay. And then I'm just putting this right down here on the bottom somewhere. The reason why, if you wanted to, you can make that a full card front. I just think this paper is so pretty. I didn't want to obscure the pattern with that. So I just wanted to have that little bit of a place where I can write the note, but then the beautiful paper really plays out. All right. So this is our double gatefold card number 2. Or not number 2, but number 1 of the 2 that we're doing here tonight. Let me know what you think of it. All right, our second one is something that uses an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Again, it's got a belly band that's part of it to hold it down. And this time when you open it up, it's like this. So up until now, we've been like, again, the previous video and this one, we started with a 12-inch wide piece of paper. This is a way that you can utilize your 8.5 by 11 cardstock, but yet still get the double gatefold. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do this one. I purposely did this paper in a more masculine one. It's that way, like and it does have a wishing you a speedy recovery. You know, we need to send our guys, you know, get well wishes too. And I thought this color palette really would be nice to work with. All right, so for this one, what we're going to do is start a piece with the retiring color of Evening Evergreen. And we're going to be using the designer paper, Lovely Linen. And let me get all of the pieces here. All right, so start out with a piece of 5.5 by 11 piece of Evening Evergreen cardstock. Or basic white 4 by 5 1/4. Got some embellishments here that we'll do here in a little bit. We're going to add the panels and add a little something to them. So I've got 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, and this is 5 3/8 by 1 7/8. And then layering on top of it, we'll do the designer paper, and this is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then we're also going to need another pair for our panels, our smaller panels. And these are basic white at 5 3/8 by 1 7/8, and then 5 1/4 by 1. Okay. And so I wouldn't mess it up here while we're doing it together. I have gone ahead and scored the cardstock. So I'll kind of show this here on this side. What this is, it's going to, and again, the measurements, you can find them on my blog. I've got a link on the blog or here on underneath the video or under the descriptions here that you can go to and easily find all of the measurements for both of these. Okay, so I have this scored at 1 1/4 and 3 3/8. And then you want to flip or turn it over to the other side and score it again. So it's going to be scored at 1/4 and 3 3/8 from both directions. And just like all of our double gatefold cards, we're going to take the seam, the fold that's closest to the center part of it, and fold it back, fold it in, and fold it back. Now the cardstock, we've been using designer paper up to this point for the most part. One card on the other video, we did use the 12 by 12 basic white cardstock, but the colored cardstock is just a little thicker. So I'm really pressing down these score lines. And then that gives us our gatefold. All right, let's go ahead and add some decorative panel strips to these. So again, I'm just going to This is lovely in linen designer paper. And I really like the evening evergreen and the soft succulent side, you know, for masculine cards. I think that paper is even on sale now. So if you like these colors, that might be a good time to grab this paper. Okay, got that. Now we'll do those two smaller ones. When you go to your trimmer and to score, don't be intimidated by the 3/8 marks. I know sometimes people are, but once you kind of get the hang of where that's at on the guide, it really does open up a whole. It opens up some more measurements and layering pieces that you can use. Oh my goodness! That got glued down fast. Oops! I'm going to get myself under there. My nail. Try to get that straightened out. My goodness. I was chatting instead of paying attention to gluing. All right, that is such a sample one. Let's do better. Liquid glue does give you some wiggle room, but you still can't be chatting too much when you're putting the layers down. There it goes. Look how nice that one is. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll get these down. So the smaller ones will go on the center panel, or the ones like, you know, like when you first open the card. So that'll go here. And put that on. It just really dresses up. Now, if you wanted to, you could stop here on the smaller ones, but I just love the look of having all of the front panels decorated with designer paper. It just kind of elevates it, I think. All right. And we're going to do the belly band in the same manner that we did before. Started out with a piece of that same coordinating designer paper that's 1.5 by 12, but we're going to cut down the excess. I kind of put one in to start on the center seams. And then I'm going to meet, this over here. Fold back what I don't want, get my snips. And go from there. And little glue on one of the ends. Again, I've got a pretty big embellishment here. Oops, let's get that down just a little bit more. Give it just a second to set. There we go. All right. Now for the decorating on this one, use the same layering circles die. There we go. It was a little tight. And use soft succulent for that. And I've got some scrap pieces of other things here. And what I wanted to do with this is we are going to do some stamping. Let me get that. This is a last chance or retiring stamp set called Speedy Recovery. It's really a great one for all things like, you know, just that, like when wishing you a speedy recovery, sending well wishes, I'm here for you, and then all of these other motifs. I thought about putting the Kleenex box on there, but again, I kind of thought that, I have an uncle that's, he just got out of the hospital, and he's not really a Kleenex kind of guy. So I thought, you know, I just would keep it simple with the sentiments. And so I'm going to use the wishing you a speedy recovery. And I'm using the retiring evening evergreen. And I've got some scrap basic white. And now I'm going to use the decorative circle punch. Oops, where did that go? Oh goodness, I had it all laid out. I do this every time. Oh my goodness. So we're going to punch that out with the decorative circle punch. Dramatic hold. It's not even in the, oh my goodness. Well, anyways, let me get this out. We're going to punch it out with the decorative circle punch, and we'll layer it onto here. And then that gets put on just like we did before, you know, how we'll do it before. But before we do that, we want to use the bow punch. It punches out these 2 leaves, and I'm using scraps of evening evergreen as well as the vellum, and punch once with each. When you punch once, you get 2 images, and I layered those behind the decorative circle punch, and then layered that, just sandwiched it right in between with the scallop circle, and added it onto our belly band. And then for the inside of it, I'm going to use the Sending Well Wishes Your Way. And let's see here. And I'm going to go ahead and tap, and this goes right into the center of our 4 by 5 1/4. It's just a super sweet little sentiment, just so sweet, just, you know, almost quiet, you know. So if someone's not feeling good, you don't want to have their sentiments kind of be yelling at you. It's just soft and sweet, you know, so that when they read it, it just kind of is a very calming sentiment. We'll put that in the center. And then, so then when you're all done, this is what you get. All right, so that is our class tonight with these 2 variations on this. Let me kind of just make some room here real quickly, and I will share with you what we made here with the last class video and then this one, so that you can see all of the variations of the same concept of the double gatefold card. We have, you know, this one here, where it opens up very traditional like this. This is like the basic 101 gatefold card, double gatefold card. And then this one uses that same concept, only you can use those scenery designer paper ones that are kind of like the whole bottom part of the page is like a scene. So that's how you can utilize those. And then we also did one with designer paper. Only the last time, instead of cutting from the score line that's closest to the center, we diagonally cut it on the first panel, and then use the excess to flip over and do that. And then tonight, what we did is we took that same kind of concept, but we cut down the size of the paper, matted it onto a card base, and diagonally cut from the center. So that's kind of how those 2 things differ, so that you can kind of see that a little bit of where they start. Okay, so that was kind of number 4 way of doing that with the 12 by 12, starting with the 12 by 12. And then here's one that how you can modify it for using our standard 8.5 by 11 cardstock and cut that down for it. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed class. And again, a reminder that we have free shipping here tonight. I'm going to get on camera here and say bye to you real quick. All right, everybody, you have a great Wednesday night, and I hope you enjoyed all of these ways of doing our double gatefold card. Okay, have a great night. Bye-bye.